The Walt Disney World Resort recently added an all-new attraction to its lineup. It's right here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, more specifically in the Tree of Life, and today we're going to talk all about it. I want to let you know what to expect, especially if you're going to be visiting with little kids. We're going to talk about the Zootopia themed snacks that are located here in the park. Of course, we have to take a look at the merchandise as well. And I'm going to let you know what we think of the show, not only as a standalone attraction, but also when it comes to what it means for the park as a whole. I'm going to tell you right now that if you're not necessarily into our brand of honesty, which, you know, to each their own, everyone has their own thing that they like and dislike, this one isn't necessarily going to be for you. At least at some point, don't worry. I'll warn you so you can dip out. But first things first, let's talk about what to expect. Zootopia Better Zoogether is a 4D show, which means a lot of sensory stuff is going on. It's a 3D movie, so you can expect to wear glasses, and then there's water spray, fog, scents, and there's also the sensation of something crawling underneath you. This is one of the things that was in It's Tough to Be a Bug that some people struggled with a little bit. It does still exist in this show, but not quite in the same way. In this case, we're talking about rats or mice that get spooked, so you feel them running underneath you. And so I know that since we're talking about a different type of animal, it's not quite the same as when we're talking about bugs. Just one way or another, be aware of it. Also, in terms of nuts and bolts, the runtime for this show is about 10 minutes. So not too short, but not too long either. It's a good length for an attraction, in my opinion. Now, the next thing that I want to just touch on real quick, because I know there are some of you who are wondering about this, and we need to discuss this, especially when we talk about expectations, like what to expect, is whether or not this attraction is going to cause the same level of trauma that It's Tough to Be a Bug caused for some kids and families. I'm happy to report the answer is no. Now, for those of you who maybe weren't afforded the opportunity to experience It's Tough to Be a Bug, this was a show where at some point things turned dark. All of a sudden the bugs attacked. They were like descending from the ceiling, stinging you from behind. That does not happen in this show, and nothing like it happens in this show, which is a huge relief for families, I'm sure. Again, the only thing that is a little bit off-putting or might be for someone in your family is the sensation of mice or rats running underneath your seat. But I do want to emphasize just real quick, because I think earlier I said that there's a point where they get scared and scatter. It's not like a big scary thing. They're just kind of caught off guard. So it's not like you have to be concerned about a big frightful event taking place during the show. It doesn't happen. So in that way, the show is much more family friendly than the previous show, much less likely to cause that trauma and ongoing upset with your little ones throughout the rest of your Animal Kingdom day, or goodness forbid, the rest of your vacation. And for all its faults, of which there are a few, we'll get more into that here in a bit, that's a really big upgrade when it comes to this show. Moving on though, let's talk a little bit about treats. To the best of my knowledge, there are 3 available here at Animal Kingdom. There's a macaron, there's a coffee, and there's a soda. There's also a popcorn bucket. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so we'll keep our eyes open for it today, but I don't know if that qualifies as a snack or merchandise, maybe somewhere in between. Anyway, we tried the macaron and the coffee. I have to say, both were fantastic. The macaron looked like a donut, which was super cute. Also, it was chocolate with strawberry jam, which was really good. I will say it was a little bit dry, but I kind of feel like that's par for the course with these bigger macarons. We experienced something very similar over at Universal during our stay at Sapphire Falls. We got a pretty big macaron there, and we experienced kind of the same thing. So maybe they're just not designed to be made this big. I'm not going to hold it against it. It was good. Would I get it again? Yes, but not as quickly as I'd get the coffee again. Oh my goodness, this coffee was delicious. It's a combination of cold brew and condensed milk, which is a favorite of mine, but it also had blueberry syrup, which at first I wasn't sure what exactly I was tasting. I thought maybe I was still getting the flavor from the macaron, but no, this was actual blueberry syrup, which tasted a little bit more like blueberry jam in the coffee. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hold on a second. Blueberry coffee doesn't sound that good, but seriously, it's delicious. The only thing that's really important to keep in mind with this coffee is that you have to stir it. Like, grab yourself a spoon, because you're gonna need some oomph here, and get all of that condensed milk and blueberry syrup incorporated into the cold brew, which takes a minute. but it's totally worth it. Honestly, this is probably the best coffee that I've had here at Walt Disney World in a long time. Probably the best drink that I've had here at Walt Disney World in a long time. And I would get another one right now, even though it's cold and even though it's an iced coffee. But we have other drinks to try, which we're gonna do now because there is one more on the menu. Well, it's not on the same menu, it's somewhere else. But either way, we're gonna make our way over. It's a soda. I don't know what exactly is in it. I don't know exactly what we're in for, but I figure we try it together. So let's go. Okay, change of plans. That's my bad. But you know what? It happens. I didn't check the time, and that's okay. Sometimes you just want to go with the flow. But that's also why you got to be ready to bob and weave. So what do you say we change our plans a little bit and go check out some of the merchandise, because some of it's pretty cute. So let's go. Not a big deal. We'll come back for the soda later. So we're starting off at the Discovery Trading Company. There's actually quite a bit of merch right outside. So let's take a quick look and see what they've got. But also we are gonna check the other shop as well, because you never know what you might find. So let's start here though. Like I said, they do have a good amount of merchandise, including a shirt for the attraction, which, as some of you may know, I am a huge fan of attraction-specific merchandise. This one is simply the poster for the attraction, which is cute. I wish the quality was a little bit better. This just kind of feels print on demand like to me, but I'm not going to focus too much attention on that right now. I want to show you everything that's available. Got this really cute sweatshirt. This one also has it's more like a French terry versus one of the other more plush sweatshirts. Oh, that's hard to say. Plush sweatshirts that we've seen. We also have some flocking as well. That one is $60. Then for $32.99 we have the hat, and then a gazelle shirt here as well. Personally, I'm not too crazy about the quality of any of those items. The prints aren't fantastic in my opinion. The quality, just like with everything else here at Disney, is hit or miss. And whether or not the price is right is going to depend on how badly you want whatever piece of merchandise is in question. But anyway, let's keep wandering through and see what else we can find. Oh, check this out. We have some plush pens. These aren't really attraction specific, but they are here. Very cute. $16.99 for each. Not much else here at the Discovery Trading Company. So let's go over to the Island Mercantile, because I did see some cute stuff over there yesterday. So I want to pop back in and give you a look, because some of these things are really adorable. So we're headed this direction, which is where they have a pretty big selection of Zootopia merchandise. This is the first thing that caught my eye. I love this little play set. So you can see there are a number of different outfits available. You can mix and match, you know what I mean? So $24.99 for that. Also, I love that it's in like this carrot carrying case, which is nice. Keeps things organized. We have some mugs, and then a hoodie here. Now this one, again, is that French terry, which I do like, but it's $60 as well. Yep, all over print on that one. Cute, though it's not my favorite. Also, I tend to not get white because it just gets dirty too quick. Let's see what else we're working with here. We've got this t-shirt, very simple. This hoodie is actually really cute as well. It's one of those cosplay hoodies. I'm not familiar with all the characters from Zootopia, so I don't know who all of them are, but this is the snake. You can tell me who exactly this is in a comment down below. This hoodie is $80. That is a lot of money for that hoodie. I know it's special, I know it's unique, but I do have some of these hoodies at home. I don't think I ever paid that much for one of them. Definitely not. I probably got them all at the outlet. Again, the quality is hit or miss with them, but I don't know. I think it's a lot. $50 for the kid version. Let me know if you agree or disagree, but let's keep moving on to some other merchandise here. We have this super cute Judy Hopps dress and a hat. We also have this hat as well. and some t-shirts. Look at how grumpy he is. My goodness, someone get him a donut or something. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't say that because he's a cop. I said that because donuts are delicious. So cool your jets, okay? We have some other really cute merch for the little ones here. And then this t-shirt is super cute. Oh, hold on a second. It looks like it's got a hood. Let's see. Oh my goodness. How cute is that? And this is $31.99. This is a t-shirt, by the way, just for clarity's sake. A few dollars more than a standard kid t-shirt. I think it's like 26, yeah, 26 for a regular t-shirt. Considering it has a hood, that's probably why it's more expensive. Let's look at some of the plushies though. I love plushies and these are super cute. Got Judy over here. I'm not entirely sure who this guy is, but he is in the show. Got our little snake wearing fanny pack over here. You can also get yourself some tails if you're into that kind of thing. More plushies over here as well. And then we have the ear headbands, which are $36.99 each. Really cute. There's also a bubble wand, which I think is very cute. I know not everyone is Team Bubble Wand. I'm Team Bubble Wand, okay? It's actually right here. This one is $39.99. And let's see if we can get it to light up. We've got the red and blue lights going. Very cute. And then I think the bubbles come out the back. I like this one. I actually think it's super cute. Now, as far as where you can find this merch, it's kind of all over the place. A little bit over at the Discovery Trading Company, like we saw. Then there's more, at least right now, over at Island Mercantile. But you can also find little stands and kiosks throughout Discovery Island where you can pick up bits and pieces as well. Oh, you know, I almost forgot to mention there's also a popcorn bucket, which, like I said, is kind of a gray area. Is it a snack? Is it a piece of merchandise? You decide, but I will say that it's very cute. It's not like a standard popcorn bucket where you open the vehicle up to put the popcorn in. It's one that holds a popcorn container. What do you guys think? Will you add this to your collection? I feel like popcorn buckets are one of those things that's kind of divisive. Some people think they're an astronomical waste of money. Some people think that they're great. I think that they're pretty cool. I think that they're an affordable souvenir. They can be a little difficult to pack, but they're also lightweight. So for me, they're kind of a great compromise, but I'd love to know what you guys have to say. So since we have a little bit of time before we can go get our soda, what if we continue to bob and weave? Take a break here in Harambe Market and talk a little bit about our thoughts when it comes to Zootopia Better Zoogether as an attraction. Like I said earlier, I want to share my thoughts about the attraction as a standalone, but also when it comes to Animal Kingdom as a whole. So that's what we're gonna do. And then from here, we'll dip out, grab that soda, and I'll get into the rest of it. I will say, earlier I mentioned that I'm gonna give you a warning. Well, here it is. If you are one of those delicate flowers who struggles to hear any conversation where Disney isn't perfection, then this is your time to dip out. No hard feelings. I'll see you in the next one, or maybe I won't, but you've been warned. So. Are we good now? So we saw the show yesterday, and by we, I mean Russ and I. We came here to Animal Kingdom, got some snacks, saw the show, and then immediately after the show, we pulled off and just sat down to chat about our thoughts. And no, he's not here to talk with us about this today, but I did note down some of what he had to say, and for the most part, we both agree. The show is cute. At times, it's funny, it's definitely family friendly, and there's no getting around the fact that the kids in the theater with us were having a fantastic time. I mean, there was a kid sitting next to me and he was like, he had to be a Zootopia fan. He was telling his mom about all the references throughout the pre-show and he was having a blast. And so were the kids sitting in front of us and behind us. Not one scream of terror in the whole place, which again is all I really wanted out of this show. I mean, my bar wasn't set too high, but I did want this to be a better, more family-friendly show. If you listen to some of my past discussions, you'll know this because I've talked about it at length. There's also no getting around how crisp the show was, visually, I mean. Maybe we could chalk this up to newness or maybe some new methods when it comes to 3D technology, but with the glasses on, everything was just crystal clear. And even if you took the glasses off, the screen was a little bit blurry, but it wasn't like some of the other shows that we've seen in the past where if you take the glasses off, it's unwatchable. And I thought that was great, especially when we talk about a show that caters to kids. Look, not every kid wants to wear the glasses. Sometimes they just don't grasp the concept. Sometimes they're more interested in playing with the glasses than anything else. So I like the fact that it's not as double vision as it would have been with another show like Muppet Vision 3D. So it still gives them a little something to look at, even if the concept of like keeping the glasses on your face isn't there. I like that. That is definitely something that I appreciate. If it's gonna stay like that is yet to be seen. Sometimes the way that they do these shows, like projectors get messed up or something and it becomes more blurry over time. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. But at least right now, I think that that is definitely a mark in the pro column. They did a good job with that. There's also no getting around that the show itself is enjoyable, especially for a younger audience, which I know I mentioned earlier, but I think it's worth mentioning again. The adults, on the other hand, seemed less impressed, which I only say because they were very vocal about it on our way out. And I'm not talking about the childless millennials, you know, that everyone points to and goes, the show wasn't made for you, that's why you didn't like it. No, I'm talking about the parents with young kids even. They were pretty vocal that it was like, it's fine, you know. So for whatever it's worth, it didn't really move the older crowd as much as previous shows may have, or some of them that still exist do. Now, as a side note, I do think that this is kind of an interesting observation, and I want to put a pin in it. I don't know if we're going to discuss it more later today or save it for an entirely different discussion all its own, but I do think it's worth mentioning that, in our opinion, this attraction seems to depart being something that everyone in the family can enjoy equally, and kind of enters the realm of, well, the kids will like it, so it's good enough, you know? But anyway, like I said, put a pin in it. We'll get back to that. But for now, let's get back to our thoughts on the attraction itself. Now, when it comes to what we thought of Zootopia Better Zoogether, we both thought it was fine. I mean, it wasn't particularly notable or interesting, certainly not innovative or creative. In fact, some elements of the show just felt really lazy. Almost like they knew their target audience were kids and figured, just slap it together. They won't care. It'll be cute and funny and they'll love it, and we don't really have to put in the work that, quite frankly, Disney has been known for over the years. There's a moment in the show that's actually a fantastic illustration of this point. So the whole concept of the show is that we're sitting in the Tree of Life and we're watching a live broadcast that's being beamed into us. There are some characters that are in the tree with us, but for the most part, we're watching a show via satellite. Think Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Anyway, there's a point where Judy and Nick, they kind of make their way into the scene by happenstance. Don't forget, this is like a satellite broadcast, so there's a camera there looking out at this landscape and, oh look, Judy and Nick. So something happens that has Judy and Nick addressing the character that's not there with them, but in the Tree of Life with us. But the way that they're talking and even the way that they're looking at the character, it makes it seem like we're all in the same space, but we're clearly not. Let me show you a clip, maybe it'll make more sense.
Well, I'm sure she's fine.
Nick, the other celebrations could be in danger. Who has her? Where to next?
On to Marsh Market.
Fine.
You see what I mean? Like, it's a weird moment in the show where it seems like the powers that be, you know, the creatives behind Zootopia Better Zoogether almost forgot what story they were telling. And I know there are some people out there who are gonna say, but again, it's for the kids, it's not for you, and so they don't have to actually put in the work. But you know what, I disagree. Number one, kids deserve more credit than they often get, so don't even get me started on that. But also, this is Disney we're talking about, where fans often fight to the death from the top of a very high horse, might I add, about how it's so much better here than elsewhere because of things like creativity, immersion, storytelling. This show is certainly not a good look for those people, I'll tell you that. So yeah, those are our thoughts when it comes to Zootopia Better Zoogether as a standalone attraction. You know, what we thought about it as its own thing. Ultimately, it's fine, but buckle up, Buttercup, because we have more to discuss, mainly what this new attraction means for the park itself, this is where our conversation gets really uncomfortable. But we're gonna take a quick break, lighten things up a little bit with that soda, because it's about time. So let's make our way over. All right, so here it is, our Cub soda. This isn't anything too fancy. This is Sprite with blueberry syrup, and it has a little popsicle inspired ice cube on top. It's a real ice cube, not like a glow cube or anything like that. Let's take a taste. I mean, it's blueberry Sprite, which is delicious. Is it $6.70 delicious? Definitely not. But you know what? There are some hits and some misses. That's just the nature of the beast. Anyway, I want to talk to you about the last little portion of today's discussion, and that is what, in my opinion, this attraction means as part of Disney's Animal Kingdom. Look, I warned you before that, you know, if you wanted things to be light and fluffy, it was your time to tap out. This is your second warning. Okay, so before we dig into the last portion of today's discussion, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here, okay? Because if you've arrived at this point, then you've heard me say good things about Zootopia, Better, Zoogether, and you've heard me give Disney credit where credit is due. So let's not pretend that I'm all doom and gloom about this. I know that that seems to be the default when I kind of divert off the path of Disney is perfect, okay? But that's not the case. Instead, I'm going to encourage you to come to the table understanding that two things can be true at the same time. An attraction like Zootopia, Better, Zoogether can be a cute attraction that in many ways is an upgrade compared to what we had last based on any number of factors. We've already talked about this, right? But simultaneously, it can be a bad fit for the park. And when it comes to Zootopia, Better, Zoogether, this is not the right park for that attraction, and that's certainly not the right venue for it either. And look, I get it, there's a lazy connection there. It's a movie about animals, and this is a park about animals. It's a perfect fit, but it's not. At least it wasn't a good fit for the park that Disney's Animal Kingdom was November 6th, 2025. But here's the thing, I think it fits into the park that Animal Kingdom might become. A park that is much less about the original mission, if you will, and much more about creating experiences centered around Disney stories, which is a criticism that if you've been paying attention to all of this stuff over the years, you may have heard other people have when different types of attractions were shoehorned into theme parks here at Walt Disney World. But look, I don't want to talk your ear off about that today. We've already talked about so much, so we'll save that discussion for the future. But I will say that I wouldn't be surprised if Animal Kingdom goes the way of Epcot Center or MGM Studios, now Hollywood Studios, kind of shedding the park that it was and redefining itself as something new, hopefully redefining itself in a way that is less like what's going on over at Hollywood Studios that's in this identity crisis. No one can seem to put their finger on what exactly that park is about, you know? Now, for the sake of clarity, I'm not a fan of this move, and I hope that I'm wrong here. Who knows? But to me, Zootopia, Better, Zoogether feels kind of like the canary in the coal mine. To me, it almost feels like they're making room here at Animal Kingdom for the park to be redefined, and their first step toward doing that is having Zootopia, Better, Zoogether. Which, you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you, is kind of an uncomfortable realization, but again, it's something that we've seen Disney do with the theme parks in the past. Why wouldn't they do it again? Now for me, the fact that it doesn't really fit into what Animal Kingdom has defined itself as since it opened is the thing that stands out. But another thing that I really don't like about what this attraction has done, and we haven't talked about it up until this point, I really didn't know where to fit it into the discussion, so this seems as good a place as any, is what they have done to the queue and just what that looks like as you're gazing upon the Tree of Life and walking underneath it. For one reason or another, they've decided to erect these structures. It's like beams that are along the walkway. To me, I keep calling it scaffolding. That's what it looks like to me. Whether you're walking through it or whether you're looking out over the water at the Tree of Life, it looks like scaffolding just never came down. And so now it's there. And it just takes away from the whole experience of Tree of Life. You know, it makes it look like a construction site, which this is not scaffolding. This is a permanent structure that now exists Not a fan of this. To Russ and myself, it kind of takes you out of being in the shadow of this magnificent tree, and now it feels like we're in a queue. I'm not a fan of that. That's very disappointing. I also wish that if they were going to do this, they would put a little bit of care into this, like put some banners that celebrate Zoogether Day, have these structures carved so that they look like they belong in this space, and that's not the case. But those are all my thoughts about Zootopia, better Zoogether. I know it was a lot. I hope you guys had fun wandering around with me and hearing what I had to say about this. And of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this new attraction, so pop them in the comments if you have any, and tell me, of course, if you're looking forward to experiencing this attraction during your next visit to Disney's Animal Kingdom. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.